Hello again, and welcome to creating histograms via Desmos. So again, I'm just in at desmos.com/calculator, and I already have a list entered here. So my list is named capital B. In most problems that I give you, if I give you a data set, it'll already be programmed into Desmos. So your best actor data is already programmed into Desmos for you. In order to make a histogram, it's actually quite simple using Desmos. We can either type the word histogram, or if you don't want to type, you can click on that little keyboard down in your bottom left corner, click on functions, and then we'll hit dist for distribution. And histogram is one of the buttons there. So again, you can either type histogram or we can just hit the histogram button. From here, we have to tell what data set we want to use. So in parentheses, we're going to put a capital B and then comma. And then you can see down here that it says dataset comma bin width. That's telling you precisely what needs to go in your parentheses. Let's go ahead and start with 10. So the bin width is referring to each histogram bar starts at a number and ends at a number in terms of which data values we lump into that category. So at bin width 10, we would say go from 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. Each of those categories we're lumping into spans 10 numbers. Now we have bar heights and bin alignment popped up down below. The count our count here is referring to the head count of that category. We often refer to this as the frequency. Relative is your relative frequency. And you don't need to worry about density at the moment. Then we also have our bin alignment. So bin alignment, we will pretty much always put at left. So we'll go ahead and switch this to left. Sorry, my daughter's in the background. So having it on left, what this is going to do is it's going to do our bins starting on multiples of 10, since we're doing with 10. So we'll go 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. If we used center, what it would do is it would put the multiples of 10 in the middle of your bins. So instead of 10 to 20, we might do 5 to 15 because 10 is in the middle. From here, to get your histogram to show, we just hit this little magnifying glass and it'll rearrange our coordinate system so that we can see the histogram. So again, that little magnifying glass I clicked on essentially zooms to the correct window. Now notice here we just have 4 bins in our histogram. This first bin has height 3. That means we have 3 data values that fall between 10 and 20. If we looked through our data set, here's 2 of them, 19 and 18 right there. If we looked through the whole data set, we would find 3 numbers that fell between 10 and 20. The way histograms work, the number 20 would fall between 20 and 30. The number 30 falls between 30 and 40. the number 40 we would put in the bin from 40 to 50. So we always include the bottom number. The top number is actually in the next bin. So from here we have our 4 bins. That's a fairly low number of bins. To fix that, we're just going to change that bin width to 5. Now I can re-zoom by clicking the magnifying glass. Here is my new histogram. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bins. That's a more standard number for a histogram. It's rare that we do histograms with fewer than 5 bins. So you sometimes need to change the width to get to the appropriate number of bins. If we have hundreds of data values, then we might have quite a few more bins. With only 25 data values, this is probably the most bins we would like to use, because notice most of these bins have a head count of only 2 or 3. We don't want to have just a bunch of bars that are only 1, 2, or 3 high. So this is our histogram. From here, we can go ahead and export our histogram over to Canvas, as you will have to do in this lab. So to do that, we're going to click on this box with an arrow coming out of it that's up in the upper right-hand corner. If we click on that box, it comes up with share your graph. Easiest way to put this into Canvas is to click on embed, and we can just copy all of that text that popped up. And now I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Canvas. So here we are back in your histogram lab discussion board. In order to post or embed that graph, if we just click on reply, then we can hit insert and embed, and we can simply paste that code we just copied, hit submit, and the histogram is now embedded into our post. So this is all you need for your first histogram lab. Enjoy playing around with Desmos. Bye.